Welcome miniature fans. Today I am going to be painting one of the 3D printed houses that was given to me by Cold Air. Now I've got this in my spray booth, and what we're going to do first is we're going to spray paint the whole miniature with Vallejo black, and this will make an excellent primer to work from for our miniature. So what I'm going to do is give this a complete spray of black, and then we can dry brush all the rest of the colors on. But let me show you how I use my airbrush first. Now of course I'm using a very cheap airbrush, just a nice little cheap airbrush like so. All I'm going to be doing is spraying this whole miniature with the black. So I'm going to go through that process with you now, and I'll speed up the video to show you how I paint this miniature. Okay, let's go and talk about what paints I used today. Of course, for the primer coat I've used the premium airbrush colour. This is the black. For my ink washes today we had Agrax Earthshade. Let me get my little pointy stick. Now for the Agrax Earthshade I used that on top of all the wood. I used it for the bricks as well. The Nun oil, that was used over the grey areas of all the miniature. Of course we got my very dark brown. This was used for all the wood effects, and then we used a Graveyard Bone from MSP Colors, and of course this was dry brushed on top of the wood, and then the Agrax Earthshade was applied after, which gave you that nice dark highlights for the browns. And of course we got Jungle Moss there, and the Jungle Moss was, I always add that to my buildings. If you look down the bottom of the buildings, you've got all that kind of mouldy moss going around the bottom of the building. So a very simple array of colours today. We got Graveyard Bone, Jungle Moss, Wood Stained Brown, 2 washes, the black, and I'll be explaining about this grey to you later on in the video. But I got a little section about this grey here. And this is the paint I want to talk to you about. This will help you with these lines, because all the lines around the miniature, what happens with this paint, it helps blend the lines out of the actual miniature. You'll never get rid of all the lines, but it helps, and I'll be talking about this later on in the video. Okay, just wanted to stop the video for 5 seconds. Now this is the special paint that I am using today for this miniature. Now this is mainly for all the brickwork. For the slates and everything else, I'll be using browns from my normal acrylics. Now the reason why I wanted to show you this is Pebeo. This is a French company that makes the acrylic paints. It's a very high viscosity paint. It's very dense. Let me just show you how it's a very thick paint. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. It's quite a solid thick mixture. Now you can get this in tubes. I like to buy it in these tubs because it's a thicker paint. Sorry, you get more for your money. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. But it goes on very well, and because of the thickness of the paint, when you do 3D printing, as many of you already know, you'll get many lines from the actual printing process from your 3D printer. Now what happens with this is, of course, it kind of fills in those lines a little bit better and blends everything together, which means it stops the mold lines showing through so much. You'll still always get mold lines. There's nothing to stop that apart from having some sanding, very heavy sanding with some very fine sandpaper. But for your painting, highly recommended to get this Pebeo, Pebeo.com, if you want to look up on Google. And you can, like I say, you can get them into small tubs, and you can get in tubes as well as, and you can get a variety of different colors. But if you are doing 3D printing with lines from your 3D prints, this is the paint to use. It is absolutely fantastic. I will carry on with my paint now. I'll put some music on and we'll finish off this building together.